ladies and gentlemen. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about the brand new game mode, Alliance Coliseum. So there's a lot of mixed feelings about this game mode currently out there. I know a lot of the sweatiest players, myself included, have been having a really good time jumping into this game mode, but that's also generally a crowd that has like a lot of time to kind of play Marvel Contest of Champions, and is just kind of like terminally online and just looking at all the meta, the craziest runs, and getting like really competitive as well. But I also see I kind of like a lot of feedback from a larger casual crowd, especially this time of year, because, you know, it's December, we're a couple of weeks away from Christmas now, there's so much going on in people's lives, and to have like a 3-day Coliseum event where you've got to jump in, you've got to understand a new game mode, you've got to, you know, understand how to fight Adam Warlock and all of the nodes and complexities that come with this fight, and you've only got 3 days to learn the game mode, you know, the boss and the characters, and then do potentially like 5 runs as well, then it's a little bit overwhelming, right? It's crammed into a very tight time period, and I think that's also kind of a big part of the frustration that I've seen from many different players out there. But also, there's just people who, for this game mode, it isn't necessarily their cup of tea. This, for me, is somebody that, you know, is a ex-World of Warcraft MMO raider. I've played a lot of gacha games. I love the boss modes in here. This game mode is so perfect for me, and it's incredibly fun just because I love just doing the boss over and over again to get a sense of mastery over that boss and pushing the score, the strategy, what you can get away with, just further and further. And that is something we've seen in this game mode every single day. Like, I think it's probably been every like maybe 4 to 6 hours, like a crazy new strategy or run comes out. I need to give a massive shout out to Metal Sonic Dude, who, without reducing the ability accuracy, got a run on the hardest mode of 29 health bars. And also, Andrew the Rough this morning got 34 bars on the boss for Crossbones. So we've just seen, you know, people getting better and better at the fight, which is something I just really love. I've always been really into kind of like the speedruns in Marvel Contest of Champions, the Realm of Legends speedruns, the Labyrinth ones, and just how you can optimize strategies and characters further and further. So yeah, it's just been really fun because I really like that style of gameplay, right? I like the optimization, I like the mastery, and now after this game mode, I'm like 10 times better at dexing Adam Warlock Special 1. I've got the timing near perfect now, so yeah, I'm doing a lot better than I was like 48 hours ago, just getting randomly clipped on the live stream. So yeah, there is something, I think, inherently very satisfying when you do have a boss mode like this, of just getting into that flow state and just cooking like really, really hard and just like getting better runs, better scores, and watching it all come together. Now, I will say, one of the most important things you can do if you really don't like this game mode is just kind of detail like why you don't like it, why you think, why it hasn't interested you, what are the things that just prevented you from having a good time. And every game mode can't be everybody's cup of tea, because sometimes, like, I don't like Alliance War, for example, right? That's not really my jam, that's not really what I'm into. So yeah, it may just be a case of that for some people. But also, like, if you can give any sort of reason as to why you don't like it and what could improve, then that can potentially really help Kabam and the developers reading this when they're going into meetings next week, because I imagine they're going to have a lot of chats about Alliance Coliseum. They're going to look at the feedback, they're going to look at the data, bring it all together. Okay, what changes are we making next time? Because let's also think about the last Alliance mode that debuted. That was Alliance Raids. Now, I would say the ratio of people not liking Alliance Raids to liking Alliance Raids was probably 95% not liking Alliance Raids on debut to maybe about 5% liking. Alliance Raids were so bad on their debut. I don't know if you just remember, they just didn't give like anybody revives, so everybody kind of got blocked like halfway through and you couldn't really do anything. And then you had like a super low damage cap. It was super unclear what you had to do with like the rolls and synergies. It was just like a really big mess at the start for Alliance Raids. So yeah, that mode started off really bad, and I think Alliance Raids has kind of got to the point where it's mid. I would say overall, I kind of view the feedback and sentiment on Alliance Coliseum, I think it's about 75% positive to about 25% negative. And I think a lot of the people that are very positive and love this game mode currently are terminally online playing it, just trying to get a better run and score. Because, dude, some people have chucked some crazy hours just into trying to get, like, you know, the most perfect run with X character, and you don't really need to get that, right? It's kind of the personal achievement, personal flex, but it's just kind of the competitive spirit of doing that for, like, a YouTube video, or just, you know, the general community flex that I just absolutely love to see. But yeah, again, the best thing you can do if you just find yourself not enjoying this is just try and sit back. Why don't you enjoy it? Is there anything that Kabam could do or change to make the game mode more enjoyable for you? Now, I just want to go over points that I would make, because I still think, dude, this is far from perfect. So if I had the ability to make some dream changes to this game mode, some improvements, what would I do? First and foremost, Coliseum duration it's just got to be increased, dude. 3 days is way too short for just real people with real lives that need to do real things and leave the house, especially when you're asking for, you know, 5 podium runs. That's a 7-minute run on each one of them. That already, dude, is quite a bit of time, and that's assuming that all runs were perfect first try and you did not need to upgrade podium XP. Like, in comparison to the time a week spent doing Alliance Quest, I think Coliseum is significantly more demanding in a much tighter time frame, and I think that's kind of a big point of friction currently, is there's no room to kind of get to relax and digest the boss, digest the meta a little bit. You know, it's kind of full speed ahead here. So I'd like to see it go from 3 to 7 days. I don't see why this wouldn't be possible, but at the minimum, I'd like to see an increase to 5 days. Now, the next thing is really just about consistency. This Adam Warlock, the fight itself, like, Adam Warlock's a weird boss choice because his special 2 is super annoying. He cocoons up after. Thank goodness we don't have the awakened ability. But the fight feels very good to me when he's playing aggressively, right? When everything is going to plan, but it just takes that kind of like 5-10 seconds of him turtling up, not wanting to throw a special attack, dashing back and holding block, and it just ruins a run. And it's annoying when you have this 7-minute timer and you're expected to ramp, and you kind of, you know, get to the interesting part of the fight really in the last like 2 to 3 minutes, where, you know, you've got the prompts going on, you've got the power gain, everything is getting a lot more difficult. And to me, as a bit of a sweaty tryhard, that's when the fight gets really interesting, right? I've got my character ramped, Adam Warlock is ramping, like this is feeling like a crazy battle. But it's just when the AI just doesn't play ball, it's just like, okay, well, all of that is ruined now because it just decided to, you know, go back and hold block for a bit. Like, I just couldn't do anything because the prompt put me to sleep. So that feels really bad. I think there needs to be a base and aggressive node for this, and just understanding that, you know, it feels bad if you have bad AI RNG, and anything that could be done to circumvent that, I think, would be a significant improvement on the game mode as well. Just giving more consistency to how the opponent behaves, I think is kind of a big plus for what this mode is trying to achieve, just in terms of pure player enjoyment and kind of mitigating frustration there as well. I would also like to see Alliance Podium experience increase significantly or removed altogether. And I say removed altogether because essentially I believe the goal, from what I observe, and this is purely from what I observe, right, is like podium XP, if you want to grind it, like the first, like level 2 is pretty free, level 3 requires a bit of grinding, definitely needs to be toned down a bit because it's still like, I don't know, like, what is it, 8 to 10 runs potentially in order to get it from 2 to 3. But then past that, dude, you're just a maniac for actively grinding any podium XP because it's just going to take you like dozens and dozens of runs to get up anywhere significant. And I feel like overall it's a net negative for the game mode, because there's going to be points in the future where I'm like, oh, okay, well, I can get a better score if I take, you know, the tags have matched up perfectly for North Star or Enchantress, and I love fighting this boss and I'm having a great time. And what I could do is I could take that character up to 7-star rank 4 and get a really sick score. But hang on, I haven't, you know, taken this node up to like plus, I don't know, 5 or 8, so I don't really get the bonus points for it. So I could, you know, make this decision to rank up a character that's going to be amazing, but I don't make that because I can't really get, you know, the crazy point benefit that would like carry my alliance's score or really help them out, unless I wanted to buy the podium tokens. So I just feel like overall it's going to be better and more interesting for the mode if like you didn't have podium XP, or if it was kind of made a bit more trivial. I think that the interesting thing is the boss and how that changes, and also potentially the tags as well to bring up certain characters and make them competitive. So yeah, those are the two things that I find interesting. Alliance Podium XP, I don't really find that interesting. I would just like to see kind of more meta variants and more strategies kind of encouraged. Also, changing the 5x light attack prompt to 4x light attacks. Dude, this has ruined so many runs. The difference in difficulty from like 3 medium attacks to 5 lights is absolutely unhinged, dude. It is, yeah, so difficult. Once you're above like 15 health bars, that's where the majority of my runs just get absolutely wrecked at the moment. Is like, yeah, it's just 5 lights comes up and it's like, oh, okay. The opponent's not playing ball. Again, if he doesn't like throw that special one, if I cannot get an opening, like I'm not getting that one done, and then my run is just ruined because the AI wasn't aggressive enough, and I've got this crazy requirement to throw 5 light attacks across 2 combos with like, yeah, when the boss has, I don't know, 100 and something% increased base power gain as well. And this is another thing. I would love to avoid power gain in future boss design outside of the Enrage node. I think the base Enrage node is absolutely fine, where the combat power rate of Adam Warlock goes up by 7.5%. However, what I don't like is the additional power gain node that was thrown on top of this one, because this is where the runs on Adam Warlock, they always spiral, dude. They always just go out of control. Is the Trial by Fire node combined with Sensing Souls. So if you don't strike him within 6 seconds, you get an Incinerate, and then if you have an Incinerate, the defender's ability power rate is increased by 100%, and then Adam Warlock has passive power gain, and then you just, you know, kind of in this loop of like special 2s, and then with the base combat power rate increase as well, just this stuff weaves together to, yeah, just basically wreck the fight. And then like the 5 light prompt comes up, and then you're just absolutely cooked there. There's just like nothing you can do, and it feels like you just get into like these really bad RNG cycles, and it's all kind of based off a combination of like the defender not being aggressive, this being a punishment for then the opponent being passive, and then having the 5 light prompt. Like all of that aligns, then your fate is sealed and your run is absolutely cooked there. And it just creates like, I think those kind of like unnecessary like feels bad moments where you feel like there was just like nothing you could have done in that scenario. You just feel like screwed over by the AI, and then it just makes you hate the AI even more. So yeah, those are probably some of my dream changes that I feel currently at this point in time, just to make the mode more fun, more enjoyable, because it has there, I think it's debuted in a good spot, Alliance Coliseum. I personally have been having a lot of fun. Again, this is my cup of tea as somebody that enjoys speedruns, doing, you know, all sorts of crazy, stupid challenge videos. Like this is right up my alley, but I just want to see, you know, the focus being on creating this enjoying boss, finding kind of the right balance for the enrage and end of the fight, where it feels hectic, chaotic, but you don't feel like screwed over by just like bad AI RNG. It just feels like you're rolling the dice on a lot of different runs. I want to see kind of that raw performance from so many different champions, because that's kind of what the mode is all about, right? You know, you've got like 300 different characters in the game, and there are so many different strategies, and this is the thing I love, dude. I've seen like probably like 50 to 70 characters that can clear like 10 health bars at least. And there are just so many people that are pushing with certain characters to get higher and higher. And I know a lot of people with 7-star rank 4s of various champions that we've covered on the channel, just like constantly just seeing how much they can do to improve on their score. I think we're seeing like Enchantress runs going up to like 18 bars. I've been trying to push up Yondu as well. Clobbering Time's actually beating me on Yondu currently, so I've got to, you know, get the high score back on that. Been using Spider Ham today. Think I can get his score up a little bit more. And the She-Hulk's obviously absolutely dominating. Gladiator dominating. Onslaught just crazy dominating. Crossbones doing some mad things. Pav, Captain Britain. Wong, stocking on Spider-Man, what is it, Kate Bishop as well. I've been putting in some pretty nice points there, especially with some of the tags going on. But yeah, just like looking around the Alliance roster and all the chats in general, it's great to see that, you know, there are like general themes like, okay, if you have She-Hulk, She-Hulk's just like a really easy character to use. And the reason She-Hulk's so amazing is because she's so consistent, because she makes the opponent really aggressive. And the runs on She-Hulk are super fun to do because of it, because your opponent's playing ball with you, you know? They're doing what you want, they're doing what you expect, and they're doing what they need to in a state of the fight that is so hectic that if they don't, then you're just instantly getting KO'd. So yeah, She-Hulk's kind of everywhere, but in between that as well, there's just like a lot of interesting variants. I also want to shout out to Grand, like he did a pretty good run using Star-Lord there, 14 health bars. That is really, really good. That is a 6-star rank 5 Star-Lord, so yeah, if the Stellar Forged one, you know, has some sort of base ramp up ability like the tech one, actually could be an amazing character for the future. But that's also been a really cool thing as well, just seeing like how viable even 6-star champions are for this game mode. Like, it's not like Alliance War or Battlegrounds, where Alliance War and Battlegrounds, it's like, do you have the 7-star rank 4 counter for this node or particular fight? Or at least like the rank 3, it's like you can bring in 6-star champions here. They can be rank 4, rank 5, and you can still get the, you know, 200k to get like a level 2 or 3 podium, and then get enough score to clear all of the milestones. So yeah, I really, really do like that about the game mode, that, you know, the meta is so wide on what you can use on this one, and what I just see is people just having fun and using like a lot of the champions that they want. Again, there's just a lot of representation from many different options, even in our own alliance there. And I also want to give a big shout out, like I think the solo and also ranked reward setup is brilliant. I really do believe this is one of the best debut reward setups they've had for something in a significant period of time, because you've got your own personal milestones, right, which is getting to 3.5 million points. Now, if you have a look at the base points, granted, we are very, very sweaty here. My base points is 2 million. So yeah, with all of these runs, I would just need level 2 podiums to clear all of the personal ones and then contribute my share to the Alliance rewards. But granted, I think the average person, in order to, you know, get all of the personal, all of the Alliance rewards, I think it's probably going to take them between like 2 to maybe like 5 hours of grinding, depending on their skill level. I think if you're still trying to kind of learn bosses, then yeah, it's going to take a fair bit more time. And also, the worse you are at Coliseum and the worse you are at this boss, the more you're going to need to farm that podium level up in order to get the personal rewards there. But I think, you know, even if you hit the 2.5 million, you've got the majority of the rewards. It's just if you hit 3.5, then it also upgrades the Nexus as well. But the kind of same is reflected as you go into Alliance rewards. Even the 70 million milestone is very, very nice. You know, you have the bulk of rewards there. You're just missing like a bit of tier 5 alpha, some Titan shards, and also one Alliance Coliseum shard selector. But having these selectors, dude, these are absolutely huge. Getting like, you know, 10 of these across solo and also ranked, getting the tier 4 alpha, the tier 7 basic. Like, I was saying this in another video, but all of the rewards combined for Coliseum are about equivalent to the Wheel of Fate rewards, and kind of the difficulty, time, and resource investment is, yeah, it's just such a small percentage of that in comparison. So I think the rewards actually debut in a very, very strong position, and I like what they've done with the structure here. The thing I also really like is that the ranked rewards, there's nothing kind of like game-changing or that significant in the ranked rewards. So I know a lot of people, or I've seen a few comments like, oh, Alliance Coliseum's really grindy. I was grinding all the way up to level 5 podium. And I do think, you know, even if you got fairly mid runs, there's no reason really to take podiums over level 3 much. Just kind of switch over to a different podium and have a bit of a play about there. But everything is tuned and balanced as long as you've got like half decent champions that you can clear all of the personal milestones and contribute your full weight to the Alliance rewards, you know, just using a mixture of level 2 and level 3 podiums. Currently, the design is that if people want level 8 podiums and they want to carry their alliance to, you know, the very top of the ranked rewards in the future, they've just got to buy like a load of the upgrade tokens. Granted, this isn't the case for the current round because we got the compensation, but in the future, assuming they have the same setup, it would be. But yeah, that's just how it is, generally speaking. One of the things I do like about this, however, is just like a lot of radiance is given, or just a bit of radiance is given to a lot of people. So I wouldn't usually have access to pretty much any radiance on the free-to-play, so even getting like 2,000 and being able to get like a few units as well, it's kind of like a nice little bonus. It's like cherry on top of this game mode, so I do appreciate getting a small bit. And again, as time progresses, I imagine either the Radiance store stuff is going to get better and cheaper, or we are just going to get more and more Radiance delivered in future versions of the Coliseum. But yeah, the rewards for me are pretty good. Again, I think there's a few different points of friction with like how the boss is designed, the time in which you have to do this game mode, and also the leveling up of the podiums and the scoring system, and what, you know, feels like kind of the fair and most exciting end result. So yeah, I'd kind of love to see podium levels just be irrelevant and it just be based on, you know, you having a sick run and a lot of really, really good attempts of your alliance. So yeah, that would be tremendous. But yeah, overall, I really do like Alliance Coliseum. I think it is a good game mode. I see a lot more positive feedback and people just having fun with this game mode in comparison to raids. But I also can appreciate that a game mode like this is not everybody's cup of tea. You know, some people do prefer to play a bit more of a chilled pace. And also, I think for those people, there are cheese strategies already with like a Mortal Hulk and doing some lower difficulties, and I think there will be those strategies kind of moving forward with bosses. If you know, wait a few days, you have the opportunity to do that, but also that's kind of the benefit as well of having a 7-day event, right? There's just more chance for there to be an established meta, loads of really good counters, recommendations, how to do it the really sweaty way, how to just easy farm it for all the milestones. So yeah, I think the game mode would really have a substantial benefit being extended to a 7-day period. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things I really want to see. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to my rambling. And if you did enjoy it, please do smash that like button. Aside from that, thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.